Morning has broken. We've got a brand new day. And we can do with it whatever we choose. And all it costs us is a day of our lives. We have a brand new day. Perhaps it could be a brand new beginning. I think we need some new beginnings. To quote an old phrase that my granddad used to say, the world's going to hell in a handbag. And I think all of us could maybe have a little bit of new beginning in our life. You'll hear me use this sentence, this quote several times today, maybe. I'm not sure what's going to come out of my head today. Alice Walker, one of my favorite quotes of hers. She said, peace and love will go anywhere they are invited. That's really a very, I'll use the word profound statement. And I believe it's absolute truth. And as each of us starts this new beginning, or starts just even a new day, perhaps we could remember Alice's statement and invite peace and love to be within every experience, every interaction that we have with our fellow beings on this planet. Brand new day. Might it even be a new beginning? Oh, I hope so. And so it is.
Good morning. Imagine a big family from the old country with aunts and uncles, parents, grandparents, sons and daughters, but not a terribly happy family, because the history of that family is not so nice. Some members have mistreated others over the history of that family. The family tries to present well to the world, to pretend all is well. Some of you might not have a hard time imagining such a family. There are some redeeming qualities. There is some love and caring. There is some glimmers here and there. And some are actually quite okay with how things are, even with this. But no matter what, the story they hold out to the world is one of denial, that there's anything wrong, that we are one big happy family. So what happens when the truth starts to be told? When a mom or a son or an aunt or a granddaughter starts to tell the truth, when they start calling out the abuses heaped upon others, or the suffering, the abuse that they themselves have suffered. Any psychologist will tell you that anyone who disrupts the family system will not be welcomed very much. They will not hear, thank you so much for that feedback. I'll try and do better. This, to a large degree, is what's happening with America. We, especially those of us who are raised with privilege, however flawed, we are told, America is still a force for good in the world and has always been so. Our history books tell a story of a nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. All men. Oh, men. There have always been voices that have tried to tell the truth about the dark side of our history, about the deep wounds that we have inflicted on one another. But there are those who will go to any lengths to gloss over even enslavement of others, who will gloss over and justify what we now call genocide. They will do anything to avoid telling the truth. Some of them actually profit from not telling the truth. They will elect despots. Those despots will appoint judges. They will do anything, they will react violently at any criticism of that nation. They will do whatever they can to demonize and silence the truth tellers. But the turmoil that they cause, that we are facing now, I think is the best thing that could happen to America. Because America must come to grips with its past. It must be willing to acknowledge and make amends for that brutal side of our history. This is terrifying for some, even those who are the truth tellers. But it is this reconciliation, this truth telling, that instead of tearing the country apart has potential for healing these wounds and truly making it a great country. And there's more than a glimmer of hope as we celebrate the formation of our nation. In 1987, on the 200th anniversary of the adoption of our Constitution, our Congress formally acknowledged the Iroquois Nation and the great law of the Iroquois, acknowledging the contribution and the debt owed to the Iroquois in the formation of this Constitution. For this Constitution rejected a central supreme royalty as the model for the leadership. It rejected the sense of this being anointed by God. Somehow these men, many of whom were actually slaveholders, somehow they were able to break with the history that they brought over from across the ocean and turned instead towards another history where all had a say and where the truth actually had a chance to be told. So as we celebrate this Independence Day, we start with telling the truth to ourselves, acknowledging the privilege that many of us have as a result of this system that we are in. But we don't just tell the truth through words when we say that our country was indeed built on the backs of stolen people, stolen labor, and stolen land. We need to tell that truth. But we tell also the truth with our actions. We tell the truth when we give to the food bank. We tell the truth when we spend time at the senior center. We tell the truth through our efforts with helping COTS in their efforts to help the homeless. We tell the truth when we engage in organizations like indivisiblesoco.com, which Wayne told us about. But just as important that we tell the truth to our hearts, because just like the family members who were attacked and denigrated for telling the truth, we will sink into despair. We will sink into cynicism and inaction. But the truth is, that's not where we belong. It's okay to sink there as long as you don't stay there. We do ourselves the greatest good when we acknowledge that this is not where we want to live. That we acknowledge the truth that our hearts need to rise up with love, with our thoughts and actions and deeds as we rise up out of that despair. This is what we celebrate for Independence Day. Happy 4th of July.
David, thank you very much. While you were speaking, I looked out here, this quote on the second one down on the order service, James Baldwin. I love America more than any other country in the world. And for exactly that reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually. That's the only way you ever improve. It really is when you truthfully look at where you are, what's going on. Thank you very much, David. Well, good morning. Thursday study group. This coming? Okay, everybody be there. There'll be coffee, I'm sure. And last week, there's a funny story. Joelle called me on Monday, I think. Someday she called me and she said, funny thing, I went to the restaurant supply, I bought a new coffee basket for the coffee, and she said, when I got to church, it was there. And it was not here on Sunday. It was not. But it was on Monday. It's strange. These pack rats we got, they're big. Anyway, so a lot to talk about. Next Friday evening at 5 o'clock, a few of you who have signed up, I think Wayne's got a list, and there's some people who said they would be here to help get the stuff out of the back room and prep it for Saturday morning up in the big room. And then Saturday morning at 6 o'clock, we hope to see as many of you as can get here. Good news is we got 2 young boys coming, high school seniors on the football team. They're buku macho dudes, and they're going to help carry tables and chairs out and do the lifting things, so that'll be very cool. And then I gotta tell you, the Gazette with the people in the little rubber raft on the front, there's a bunch of them on the table. On page 30, Church of the Oaks picture, and a whole nother article about Kids Day and the free pancake breakfast and everything. It's just like we made the papers again every month. We're getting famous there all the time. So take this, it's a very well written article. So I'm in it. And then on Thursday, I got back from Monterey. I've been working down there. Thursday I got back, and the lady who is in charge of Kids Day, the whole thing, Ashley Wilson, she called me and she said, "Are you guys all set for the pancake bar?" "Yeah." "You all set to have the stage down there at 9 o'clock when we close the streets for the judges?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Would you be all set to be the Grand Marshal of the parade, Patrick?" So I guess we're all set. That's as long as I don't have to walk. She said, "No, we'll find a car for you." So that's good. So anyways, hope you can all come and get that article and spread it around. You can go online and see it. So then the following week, after the 10th, it will be the 17th. That's when there's going to be a board meeting at 9 o'clock in the hall. And the last Sunday, which will be the 24th. Is there a 31st? I don't think there is. Is there? Is there a 31st?
Yes, June is 30th, but July's 31st.
Well, July 30th, we're having the Bluebirds back again from 5 until 7 at the Cabaret. And then the 31st will be the potluck. Yeah, that's it.